The next great war may not start with guns, bombs, or soldiers crossing borders. It might start with something much quieter, much more insidious. It might start with heat, with drought, with floods, with hunger. This is the story of climate change, not just as an environmental crisis, but as the next global battlefield. For most of history, wars were fought over familiar causes: land, power, ideology. We built empires, defended flags, and battled over gods and gold. But now, a new enemy is rising. One we all share: the climate itself. Decades of rising temperatures are fundamentally altering our world. They're melting ancient ice caps, drying up life-giving rivers, and turning fertile farmlands into barren deserts. And when resources become scarce, history teaches us a brutal lesson. Violence often follows. The fight for survival becomes a fight against each other. Think about the most essential element for life: fresh water. It's becoming alarmingly rare. Great rivers, the arteries of civilizations, cross borders without regard for political maps. But the dams built on those rivers can control the fate of entire nations downstream. Tensions are already simmering across the globe. Along the Nile, Egypt and Ethiopia have been locked in a high-stakes dispute over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. In Central Asia, nations bicker over the dwindling waters of the Amu Darya and Sir Darya rivers. From the Indus to the Tigris and Euphrates, the same story unfolds. Countries are already engaged in a shadow war over water. The conflicts of the future might not be fought with tanks and fighter jets, but with pipelines, dams, and control over the flow of water. It's a new kind of warfare, where turning off a tap can be as devastating as dropping a bomb. And then there's food. Climate disasters are systematically destroying our ability to feed ourselves. Unprecedented heat waves with their crops in the field. Prolonged droughts turn breadbaskets into dust bowls. Intense floods wash away entire harvests. And when food disappears, societies destabilize. Governments fall. We saw a chilling preview of this during the Arab Spring. Years of severe drought in Syria and rising global food prices created a powder keg of social unrest that eventually exploded into revolution and civil war. Hunger has always been one of history's most powerful weapons. A hungry population is a desperate population, and desperation is the fuel of conflict. As climate change intensifies, food shortages could trigger a wave of political instability across the world, toppling governments and creating failed states. This leads to another escalating crisis: the movement of people. Millions are already being forced to leave their homes, not by war, but by the environment itself. Entire communities are being displaced by flooded cities, by relentless desertification, by coastlines swallowed by rising seas. These are the climate refugees. They move in search of safety, of water, of a place to live. But as they cross borders, they are often met with fear and hostility. These desperate movements of people are creating new friction points, turning national borders into flashpoints of tension and conflict. A humanitarian crisis quickly becomes a security crisis, and borders become battle lines. Meanwhile, as the world heats up, a new and unexpected battlefield is literally emerging from the ice: the Arctic. For centuries, it was an impassable frozen wasteland. But as the ice melts at an astonishing rate, it's opening up new strategic possibilities. Shorter shipping routes that could revolutionize global trade. Vast, untapped reserves of oil and natural gas. This frozen frontier is rapidly becoming a stage for a new great game. Russia is building military bases and deploying advanced weaponry along its Arctic coastline. The United States is increasing its naval presence. And China, calling itself a near-Arctic state, is investing heavily in the region. The top of the world is no longer a desolate expanse. It's a new arena for geopolitical competition, where the risk of military miscalculation grows with every passing year. So, can this climate war be stopped? The terrifying reality is that climate change cannot be defeated with armies. You can't bomb a hurricane. You can't shoot a drought. This is a different kind of threat, and it demands a different kind of response. The only way to win this war is to prevent it from ever truly breaking out. This requires a level of global cooperation we have rarely achieved in human history. It demands unprecedented investment in green technology, a fundamental shift in our energy systems, and a commitment to diplomacy over confrontation. We must see shared environmental threats not as a source of division, but as a catalyst for unity. The next global crisis may not come from a rival nation or a terrorist group, but from the planet we all call home. The future of war may not be written in military doctrines, but in the rising temperatures and shifting weather patterns of our world. The question is, will we fight each other for the scraps of a dying planet, or will we fight together for our collective survival? To understand the forces that will shape the conflicts of tomorrow, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.